Greetings, everyone. If this is your first time watching Genuine Unedited, thank you for stopping by. Do stick and stay and feel free to subscribe. In 2024, my intention is to continue to share my raw or unadulterated truth without tongue in cheek. On Tuesdays, I will do reviews. I will take time to analyze or criticize current events. And so, if you are into that part of social media, then feel free to check me out. Now, today I'm going to talk to two persons. I don't want to talk about them, I want to talk to them, but there are times when I might make references where it appears that I'm talking to you. And if you have something to say in the comment section, please go ahead. I will not filter your comments, whether you agree or disagree. It doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, we all have our own opinion. Now, I'm going to say this before I get into the meat of the matter. In 2024, you would like to think that our people, and when I say our people, Jamaican people, for example, you know, would want things that are uplifting, that they would want to hear, things that are going to inspire them, to motivate them. But if truth be told, they don't want uplifting stories. And if you want to see the direction that a culture is or a society, take a look at what goes on in their newspaper, what goes on in their music, etc. And then you get a clear idea of what you're dealing with. Now, this is not to single out Jamaica or Jamaicans. It is just to make a point. So, for example, if you look in the Star paper in Jamaica or Observer or even the Gleaner, you'd be shocked to see the type of attention that they try to warrant and the type of stories that they present. So, though, for example, there's a 14-year-old girl who has been admitted into the university, first time ever a child that age, we're not seeing it splashed all over social media. We're not seeing it splashed all over the newspaper, because they know that the vibration that the people radiate on is very low, and so they have to bring that stuff. They don't have to, but that's what they choose to do. Now, in my analysis of the current situation I'm going to discuss here, I'm not looking at it as it's just radiating on just low frequency. I'm just stepping in as a woman, as a mother, and as someone who doesn't want to act like I'm holier than thou or righteous. Because listen, a lot of us are presenting our story out here like we're holier than thou, we're so righteous, and we always have the gravel in our hand ready to condemn and to judge. And if someone was to turn on the light in your dark room, let me tell you something. As Bob Marley say, if they ever see what goes on, a lot of people have to run away. Now, I'm addressing Ivany and Howie. And the first thing I want to say is this. I'm not here to decide if Ivany has mental health issues, because if truth be told, all of us have some level of trauma, and it presents itself as mental health, a cry for help, that is. So I'm not here to talk about that. I'm talking to her as a mother, and I'm talking to her as a sister. And hopefully what I say to you, Ivany, you will listen, because there's no condemnation. When I'm coming to you today, there's no condemnation. Okay? And when I speak to Howie, I'm not condemning Howie, but I'm going to speak truth to Howie. Okay, so guys, if you guys know Ivany, I have spoken about Ivany some years back when she got in trouble for some situation as it relates to the internet, and I don't want to bring that up. I just want to say that from then I noticed that this young lady has great potential. Okay, the things that she was able to do, if someone gives her the opportunity or encourages her to go back for further studies, Ivany, let me tell you something. You could be a very wealthy woman if you're smart and know how to use your time. Okay? And I know you're smart. First of all, I want to say congratulations on your beautiful baby boy. Gorgeous. He's a beautiful boy. And as you take care of your puppy, I see that you're a kind and sweet person. And a lot of persons who look at you to condemn you, they have no skills as far as being a parent. You clearly demonstrate that you're a loving parent, even with the dog that you have. Okay, and now that you're a mother, here's the opportunity to be even a more excellent parent. And we can clearly see that you have so much love for your baby. And this is why I want to say something, because sometimes people just hold out and they're quick with the judgment and the condemnation, and they have a chance to appeal to a young person like Ivany and encourage her. Ivany, you're doing a great job with your baby, considering you're a new mom living in a country where, from what I'm seeing, I don't know if I'm wrong, but from what I'm seeing, there's not that much support for you. Your mother's not there. I don't think you have close relatives who are there. And the average person who gives birth to a child needs a lot of support. And I don't see with that. What I see is Howie antagonizing you and doing the most so you lose it. Howie, now, I do understand that this might have started out as a joke. This could be a plan between you and Ivany to garner support for social media in the beginning, because they know that the people, as much as they say they don't want the trash and they don't want the vulgarity, they love it. Ivany wouldn't have as much following unless there was a need for what she produced. So some of you want to come out here and pretend like you're good, decent citizens and how she is this bad person when she has thousands of people watching her and tune into her just to come and cuss her. That does not make any sense. So you're kidding yourself if you're acting like you think you're superior to the person who is producing content that you are consuming. Ivany, if this started out as a joke between you and your child's father, there was always motive on his part to play along. You have to understand that your son Ice is not just valuable as your son, as both of your son. He's valuable to someone who understands that when you give birth to a child in the United States of America, there are benefits to gain. And you best believe that Howie is being tutored, not just by people who might be watching you, but by his own family. And now that this child is born, this beautiful boy, he's going to do the most to take your child from you. But guess what? Guess what? If you're smart, it cannot happen. So continue to do a good job in taking care of your son. Document all these false accusations. It is harassment. Okay? It's tantamount to abuse from Howie to constantly send people to your home. He's trying to break you. And Howie, if this is a play or if this is some game, it's sick. It still makes you look like a sick person, because if she had asked you to play along to do this, This would be horrible on your part because you should be thinking about the mental health of your child's mother who needs to stay stable to be able to take care of your child. You talk about love, you know nothing about love. This is not love. Performance or otherwise, this could not be love, because if you have sense, you would know that it doesn't matter how stable somebody is. Once you give birth to a child, the months, the days, and the months following can be very delicate. She needs all the support she could possibly get. If from no one else, from you as a father, and you're no good. The role you're playing shows you as a narcissist, as a horrible person who would put your partner through this kind of thing. And she is your partner. You got her pregnant. To be on social media agitating her, you'd be more mentally ill than she would be, because if you know she has issue and she is a mother of your child and you claim you love your child, you'd be walking on eggshells not to provoke her. But not only you provoke her in private, you're doing it publicly because you want her to get undone. You actually want her to do something that is going to be so devastating that you can get control. And it doesn't make any sense. That is not love. For all the women from Jamaica who are telling you that you should take this infant away from a breastfeeding mother, shows how evil they are. And some of them are not good parents. Some of them are not good mothers. They're here telling you to do because they're jealous of Ivany. They're actually jealous of her. And so are you. You're presenting yourself not as a man, but as a little boy who's out here vying for attention. Both of you need to put this baby first and center. But the truth is, Ivany needs to get a restraining order because you're not good for her mental health. Because even if this was performance, if you would agree to do all that, knowing that she just gave birth, to give the impression to the world that this is happening, that shows that you don't care for her. Because even if it was an act, her yelling and screaming during pregnancy could not be a good thing for the baby. I know it's not an act, it's real. And you are capitalizing on her weakness. You do not love your son the way you're talking about loving your son. You don't love anybody. You don't love Ivany, but Ivany loves you. It's clear. And so every time she comes undone, it's because she doesn't want to tell the world that she loves you, but she does. And you're taking advantage of the fact that she loves you. And that makes you a very cruel person. How can you love this beautiful baby boy and not have this decency to set aside whatever feelings you have towards Ivany and work together? Every time she allows you to come around, all you're doing is gathering evidence to use against her, sending people to her home all hours of the night. That is cruel. That is major cruelty. And I'm doing this video so that in case she needs someone to support her, she has this video. So the judge can see that you have not been there with her and for her during 9 months of pregnancy. And you have the audacity as soon as she gives birth to riding on your white horse talking about child. Have you ever been pregnant? Do you know what it's like to carry a child in your belly for 9 months? It doesn't matter who she is. Even if she had mental health designation, that would not give you the right to provoke her. And that doesn't give you automatic right to get her child. People with disability, mental or otherwise, still have access to their children, have the right to get support. And Ivany, if you feel at any point, unstable, if you at any point feel like you're overwhelmed, reach out and get assistance in terms of counseling and support. That's why you're in America. The opportunities are there. You're not in Jamaica anymore. And I'm not going to tell her to come off social media, because who's going to take care of you and your baby? Because the people who are here gathering and supporting that person, that boy child or man child, because you're not a boy, you're a man. You're a father now. But you're a man child for what you're doing. Do you think it's so easy for someone to take someone's child? That person would have to demonstrate that the child is at risk. And I guess you're provoking her to show that. And I want the court to understand what you've done, the type of person that you are. Because if you think that you're any different from Ivany, being on social media with all of this ruckus, you're mad. What would ultimately happen is that her child will be taken and you would not be given that child, because you were behaving, you were doing things, you're being a narcissist behind the scenes, provoking somebody who need your support. You're a horrible person. And again, even if these guys got together to plan this storyline, it is not a storyline that is healthy, and it's not one that is good for mother or child. So I'm just covering all my bases to say, even if, because people are doing that. Nowadays, people disgrace each other on social media to make money, because they know some, not all, Jamaican people are radiating on that low vibration. And so this is entertainment for many people, but for me, it is very sad. I would love to see her enjoy being a mother. I would love to see her have something to motivate her into changing and becoming a better person. Do you think if you take her child, that's going to happen? No, it's not going to happen. You're trying to break this young woman who have a lot of trauma in her life, regardless of what anybody says. It's easy to judge people that you don't know. It's easy to judge people like Ivany, who present this side of herself like she's tough, when deep down, when she's by herself, do you see her crying? Do you see her hurting? And how does it present itself? As anger. It comes out as rage. Ivany, I see what Howie's doing, and don't let him get the better of you. Collect your information, and if it means it is best for you guys to get counseling, not counseling from social media. I would not want to separate a man from his child, but at the moment, while things are disturbing, you all need to stay away from each other, except in where you're going together for mediation, for counseling, for the sake of this beautiful baby boy who clearly is the child of Howie. That's his twin. You know, people, we need to tell people the truth, but we mustn't be too quick to condemn. And we must be able to look at two sides. I'm not saying Ivany is right in the way she behaves, but remember, Ivany has some unhealed parts of herself. The Ivany in Jamaica is the Ivany now. And those things of her past are still not healed. A lot of us walk around with scars, with traumas. They're not healed. And so these things sometimes act as trigger. Let's support her at this time. Let her remember the people coming together, not just to condemn, but to stand with her to say, no, she's a mother. And she went to the doctor and did what she needed to do during her pregnancy in the situation that she's in, doing her TikTok and making her money and using it to take care of herself, and preparing for her newborn baby. And the time when the father could have been using to be supportive to her, to be loving to her, is out here trying to get people to hate on her. That is disgusting. Oh, you need help. And anyone who's supporting you in doing this to a new mom, to a lady who just gave birth, who could possibly slip into postpartum, you're not a nice person. You need help. You need counseling. And that is not love. You don't love anyone who loves their children. They do what they need to do to make it right, so that there's peace. You cannot provoke the lady, the young woman, while she's alone in America taking care of a newborn child. You're messing with her mental health. It's sick. It's sick. And for all the people who are encouraging you, they need to tell her to stop and leave the young girl alone so she can enjoy her child in peace. Every time you mention to her you're going to take her kid, she's losing it, because this means so much to her. She doesn't have a lot. This means a lot to her. And you're not a nice person for trying to take that, even though you won't succeed in doing that. But you think in your mind that you can. And the more you do that, the more you provoke her, you are setting that road. Why would you as a father want a child to grow up without their mother? You're not a good person. And you don't care that this could backfire and that your child could end up in a system and you still don't get to be a part of that child's life. Is that what happened to you? Because if you have your parents, you wouldn't want this to happen to your son. People, thank you so much for watching. Ivany, be smart. Calm yourself, take a deep breath. I'm not going to tell you to come off social media because nobody's paying your bill. You're doing what you have to do. Try to calm yourself when you see this man provoking you and you're getting angry and the people provoking you. Just take a deep breath. Just come off for a moment and just shift gears and continue to take care of your son. I know you're going to be an awesome mom. I can see the marks of people who are caring and loving, and I see it in you, even the way you treat your dog. Okay? Stay focused. Stay focused, and remember, you have the potential to do great things. Tap into that positive side of yourself. Tap into it in 2024 and be great. Stay blessed, everyone.